Well, hello there. So we are back for another week, and I'm going to get through a bunch of books today. So don't panic if you don't get the title and author down. I'm going to do a montage of book covers with the titles and authors at the end. So that way we can just kind of run through them all. I don't have them all here with me, but each of these books is available through either Overdrive or Hoopla, but then also they're all available through the Mid-Hudson Library System. So whether you want a book on CD or a physical book, you can get them through the Mid-Hudson Library System by, giving us a call, email, going online and reserving it. And this week we are updating our hours. So starting tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to be open 6 days a week. So limited hours again, check the website and Facebook, but you'll be able to pick up books 6 days a week now. So hopefully that will make it even more easy for you to access all of these wonderful books that I'm about to talk about. So this week we're going to talk animals. I am an animal lover. I have had pets my whole life. We're going to cover some that are pets and some that are more like wild animals that you would not keep in your house. I've read a lot of books about animals, and they always tug at the heartstrings, and they bring out our humanity and some of the best parts of us, I think. So that's why I wanted to choose this. I think it's a really upbeat topic, and they're a lot of fun, and there's something for everybody. So excuse me while I look down because I have notes. The first book I wanted to talk about is The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. So this book got made into a major motion picture last year. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't speak to how good it is, but the book I read in one sitting, could not put it down. It is told from the point of view of a dog. The dog is the main narrator, which sounds goofy, but it's not. It is exceedingly well done, very heartfelt, emotional, all of the feelings kind of, and it's just a fantastic book. So if you're a dog lover particularly, definitely don't miss this one. I've recommended it to a lot of people and had them all come back and tell me how much they loved it. So The Art of Racing in the Rain. The reason it has that title is that the main human in it is a race car driver, and it is told by his dog. And so it's about their relationship and kind of larger life and general questions and issues, and just really, really well done. Keeping with dogs, there's another title called Marcus of Umbria by Justine van der Leeuwen, I think is how you pronounce it. And she went and lived in Italy and ended up meeting this dog, Marcus, and it's about the impact he had on her life and the relationship they developed while she was living in Italy. And my mom actually recommended this one to me, and I loved it. It's just, again, if you're a dog person, these books are going to speak to you. And, that means that there are emotional moments, but there's also so much joy. And like I said, they just bring out the best in people, I think. So definitely check out Marcus of Umbria, maybe slightly lesser known, but also excellent story. Then I thought the last dog book I would talk about is Lily and the Octopus by Stephen Rowley. This one I picked up because I have a miniature dachshund, and the main character, Lily, is a miniature dachshund. This is a nonfiction one, as was the last one. Art of Racing in the Rain is fiction. Marcus of Umbria is nonfiction, and Lily and the Octopus is fiction, nonfiction. It's a true story about a man and his dog, but the dog does speak to him, and it's his interpretations of what the dog says when it talks to him. And this one's a little sad, I'm not gonna lie. It took me a while to get up the guts to read it. So sweet though, and really captures the essence of dachshunds, in my opinion, who are very particularly stubborn little dogs. And it was a great story, and that's a more current one too. That came out a few years ago, so definitely check out Lily and the Octopus. And then I thought, since we're on the subject of octopus, we could talk about The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery, and this is nonfiction. And this book is about a woman who kind of later on in life became fascinated with octopuses. And so she got a job kind of helping out at a local aquarium, and it's about all of the things that she learned. I will tell you, it's not an overly scientific book. There are some sciencey parts in it, but it's really more about her emotional connection with the octopus and her respect for them and how smart they are and how emotionally aware. And it really is a fantastic book, and it made me feel differently about eating octopus than I used to, which may be hypocritical. I am a hypocritical meat eater. So, but they're so smart. And there's so many things that I learned about octopuses by reading this book. And it really was told in a very warm way, in a very kind of emotional way. So it's not overly scientific, but does have science and facts in it. So you might want to check that one out. And then staying with our ocean theme, there's a book called Grayson by Lynn Cox. And Grayson is a short little book, really quick read, but excellent true life story about an Olympic swimmer who practices her swimming parallel to the shore in California in the ocean. And one day she's out there and she senses something really large in the water with her and naturally gets kind of nervous because it could be a shark, it could be any number of things. And it turns out it's a baby blue whale. And the story is what happened. It's sonar when they're young, it doesn't work real well, and it had gotten lost from its mom and then kind of attached to her, and so was following her, and she didn't know what to do. And so it's sort of what happened while she was in the water that day. And it's such a good story, so unlikely, like a once in a lifetime kind of experience that she had, and it just really blew my mind. So, and it's so short, you can read it in like a snap. I definitely recommend it. There's also an audiobook version of that one available at our library, I know for sure. Other unusual animals, there is a local author, John Katz. He's from up near Glens Falls. He owns a farm, Bedlam Farm. He wrote a lot of books about his dogs. He has a number of herding dogs. It's a small little farm. He actually bought the farm for the dogs. But this book Simon is about his donkey. He owns a donkey, he had a donkey, and it's about what that experience was like and what it taught him about compassion. And, you know, donkeys are notoriously stubborn, but my mother has an obsession with donkeys, and so that's what got me to pick up the book. I was interested to see what it had to say, and it really is very endearing. It's hard not to love the donkey by the end of it, and John has a really nice way of talking about animals in general. It's not an overly kind of rosy, emotional picture a lot of times with him. He's a pragmatist, and he's running a farm, which he's not a farmer by birth or anything. He's an author, but he has a very practical view of things, but he can't help but get attached to these animals, like I think all of us. It's human nature. And so there is a warming and a sentimentality to it that's really lovely also, but not overly maudlin for people who aren't into that. But any of John Katz's books about his dogs are wonderful, but this one, Simon, about his donkey, was just really fantastic. Now to another animal that this is not at all a pet kind of animal, but there's this great book called The Bees by Laylene Paul. And this book changed, I knew nothing about bees, it turns out. I mean, I don't know how many people do, but I did not know very much about them. This one is fiction, but it is told from the point of one of the worker bees who is numbered, because bees, you know, they operate like an army sort of. They're very tactical and very systematic. And so this takes on, you know, it does some personification of some of the bees and some human kind of emotions it assigns to them. But it talks a lot about things that are real. I looked them up, like the fact that bees tell each other where flowers are by dancing the map, which how is that a thing? But it was so cool. And so while it's told in a fictional way about one particular bee, it has a lot of scientific fact in it. And I thought it's so interesting and really well done. It came out a few years ago. I've recommended it to a bunch of people, and it really captured me in a way that I did not imagine a book about bees would. But it was really, really fantastic and made me want to read a lot more nonfiction, which is a great thing that happens sometimes. You read fictional books and then they inspire you to go look into the real deal to see what's true and what isn't and what else you learned. And so often the truth is stranger than fiction. So the stuff that you're like, that can't possibly be real, that's almost always the part that is, which is so awesome to me. So The Bees, awesome book. And then the last one I wanted to talk about before we go is Dewey by Vicki Myron. Who can't end the talk with a library cat? Dewey is the story, a nonfiction true story about a cat that lived in a library, and how he got there to begin with, and how he ended up living there. I think cats and librarians are often interconnected. And so this part of it just really, as a librarian and a cat lover and a cat I have cats of my own. There's something really sweet about it and about the interconnection of libraries, books, cats, and the people who like them all. I think it's an introverted thing a lot of times, but it's just a really sweet story and heartwarming and all of the good things that we look for. So again, I'm going to put now a montage of all of the covers so you can see each of the books with their title and author, and feel free to pause the video to write things down, and then hopefully you'll check them out at the library. Okay? I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.